departments. But in any event, Gloria, please talk about what you do with the great women at Most Excellent Way.
Yes. Oh, thanks, Jim. Many thanks to the
Closer to the mic.
opportunity.
I'm sorry.
Many thanks for the opportunity to share about what we do at the Most Excellent Way. To Ben Lopez, to Oscar, and the reintegration team as a whole. Receiving the women. Well, we actually house both men and women, and we do actually a continuation. Once they leave the jail, we got the opportunity to house parolees, probationers, drug courts, whomever the reintegration program refers to us. The very first thing we try to do is to get our residents to realize that, one, they can relax because it's like the first day to the rest of your life. And we provide a continuum of care. We give lots of hugs, and the governor made mention of something. Our mantra is miracles do happen, and I have had the opportunity to see women and men lives transform. Let me just give a little background. For 32 years, I was on the other end of removing children from homes, abusive homes. I worked for Child Protection Services, and a very bright young 7-year-old asked me why was she in foster care, and I realized that both of her parents were incarcerated, and that gave me some insight, not only to what the parents must be experiencing, but how incarceration affects the lives of children. So in our transitional program, we house parents, and our job is to get them not only to feel the sense of love and acceptance and forgiveness, but to be able to understand that God is a restorer. And irregardless of where they've been and what they've done, that this is the opportunity to be restored first with God, then with self, and then your family and community.
Yeah, but you say all that, look at that, I'm a witness, and you say all that, God, you are one tough woman, so let's talk turkey. Let's talk
Okay.
turkey. What are the rules of the house?
Okay, first rule is that there's a 10 o'clock curfew. We hold all residents accountable. It's a sober house.
Amen.
And the accountability begins with taking care of their hygiene, taking care of the house. There's chores, there's a curfew. The women that you saw today reside with me. You have to work, attend school. We now participate with the Jersey City Educational and Training Program. That's been a great asset to what we do. We have actually produced college graduates. We just had a graduation of 54 ex-offenders. We are tough.
Wait, can you say that again? We had a graduation of how many ex-offenders?
54.
Ex-offenders in the program. And what's the percentage of women who work in the house?
We have a 100% employed.
100% employment rate. Everybody in that house works.
We've recently partnered with, thanks to Jim, with the Same Sky organization, who's ran by Francine Lafrac, and that organization was formed in Rwanda for women, the survivors of the genocide, those HIV surviving women. And what our women do in our homes is they make jewelry. One particular line is called the benefit jewelry. That's a job. They make more than I do, okay? And so it gives them a sense of responsibility, accountability, and it gives them the opportunity to give back because they know that one bracelet affords a woman rent, education, and her medical needs are met. The other thing that we are pretty tough about is that we believe that not only are we responsible for our physical and our mental, but for our spiritual being as well. And so we attend spiritual fellowships where at least 85% of the congregants are in successful recovery. It is a non-negotiable.
85% of the congregants of that church are successful. And how many baptisms did we have in the last 2 weeks?
We had 3 last week, and we're having 2 on Easter Sunday.
So people make a decision to turn their life and go.
People are absolutely, we have a dynamic pastor, Vincent Thomas, and the men and the women there receive. What's different about our fellowship is that they're open arms. to receive, as I said, love, forgiveness, and acceptance is what we
So
base.
we start off in jail, we start off with rules, we start off with rules of behavior, we start off with everybody working in the jail, we start off with addiction treatment in the jail. Everybody has to give back, so every day you are in jail, you're beginning to change the behavior under the leadership of Frank and Director Villas. And then when people come out, they go to Gloria's program, and again, they're changing behaviors. So that you can't think your way into new behavior, but you can behave your way into new thinking so that people begin to change who and what they are. And Frank, when we talked about a 2/3 recidivism rate, what's our recidivism rate for the program?
The overall rate is 38%, and when we started this program, the recidivism rate in the county was 53%.
And what's the program, what's the rate for the women that go through the integrity program?
24% of women who actually go through the treatment program in the jail, only 24% are coming back.
So only 24% recidivism rate, that we can do this. So then we have to provide for addiction treatment, we have to provide for job training and opportunities, and we also have to provide for housing. 3 critical aspects. Amen. You know, I'm going to bring you with me everywhere. You just clap. All right. And now, Judge Arleo, I just want you to talk a little bit about, we heard from Paul Fishman in the morning, talk a little bit about the innovative program that's happening in the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Thank you, Jim. Thank you, everyone, for being here today.
Please go closer.
I have a little bit of a cold, so please just be a little patient with me. Federal program is a little bit different, and it really has been spearheaded by not only Paul Fishman, our U.S. Attorney, but from our President and from Eric Holder. And there is a deep commitment on the federal level, on every level, to reentry and to affording the courts an opportunity to partake in a program modeled in some degree on the state program, but a little bit different. We are a team, and we need a team because we realize that you need a team to fix people who are broken. And we have a team, a dedicated team, and I would be remiss if I didn't really acknowledge them today. From the U.S. Attorney's Office, we have Tom Eichert here and Carolyn Sedlowski. We have the ACE top probation officer, Kevin Egley, and Willie Torres, our head of probation. We have amazing federal public defenders who despite sequestration and salary cuts, go above and beyond to do everything we can to help our participants. We're a new program. We don't have drug-addicted participants or folks with addiction issues, but we have people with problems who have broken families, who have struggled with education, with jobs. I can't wait to meet the participant from panel 1 who told me he hires people because I need to talk to him, because jobs really lead to dignity, and jobs are a way to give people freedom and opportunities to change their lives. So I'm a big proponent, maybe because I'm from Hudson County originally, and I understand the importance that everyone needs to have a job somewhere. Our approach is we really take it 2 weeks at a time. And I know Paul Fishman talked earlier about a lot of what we do as a team, and we meet beforehand, and we go through person by person, because they're not just numbers, and it's not just statistics, and it's not about trying to worry about at the end of the day, is it going to look good with our numbers? It's about looking at every single person like they're a family member who has a problem, and how we're going to get them through the next 2 weeks. Where are they living? Are they okay with their girlfriend or their wife or their mother? Does the mother have issues? One mother has had a cancer diagnosis, and how is that affecting the family unit? Do they have food? Do they have bus passes to get to court today? Do we need to give the money to get them the bus passes? We have short-term goals and we have long-term goals, because short-term goals are meaningless if there's not a long-term goal. It's not a short-term goal is not to work at a long-term goal cannot be for a 40-year-old man with 4 kids to work at McDonald's.
Amen.
The long-term goal is restoring a license, and do they need to have a lawyer? And we reach out to the community, and we have a wonderful community of volunteer lawyers to go to municipal court and to help get their license restored and get on a payment plan and get into better housing. And there's so many issues that face everyone.
If I can jump in, I mean, there's great similarity between the Hudson County Jersey City program, and again, Director Lopez, and what you're doing at the federal level is the importance of partnership. And we have a great partnership between Hudson County, Jersey City Employment and Training, and Integrity House. You have a great partnership in terms of with the U.S. Attorney's Office. What do you think is the most critical aspect? What's the principle that's driving the federal program?
And what
And what is it that you wake up in terms of this? What is the barometer? What's the principle by which you determine how you're going to enhance the successfulness of your reentry program?
I think what we've learned to do as a group is to listen to our participants. And people need to be heard. They don't need to be spoken to all the time. They need to tell their story. And we try to listen. And we try to read between the lines of what they need. When we had a young kid who was living in a homeless shelter, and it occurred to me, I said, "How are you eating?" And he goes, "I get by." That said to me, this kid needs some food. So it's listening.
I think pick up on what you said, because every person's experience in reentry is profoundly different. And so while we can create systems that work, and I think we have in Hudson County, I think as Judge Arleo is saying, somebody's addiction may be different, somebody's medical needs may be different, somebody's housing needs may be different, their job skills are going to be different, so that we have to work hard, diligently, to be responsive to the individual needs of the person.
We had a new participant who still had like a gunshot wound, an open wound that he was trying to get care for. And it's very hard to start talking about long-term plans with someone who is in physical pain. So, I mean, really physical pain. So the issue was, okay, let's get that fixed. Let's get that fixed first, and let's take it one step at a time. Let's take it 2 weeks at a time, and let's address every problem, because 2 weeks is easier than long-term.
So I'm just going to go quickly down the line. We've got a great program. What's our recidivism rate, Frank? What's the number?
38%.
No, what's it over the integrity number?
24%.
24%. Let me say that again. 24%. 24%. So what has been the most? I'm just going to go down the line. I just want you to